different on telly. Someone was, one of his aides was telling us, giving us all clues about him, and they went for coffee with him.
Oh, is that when I saw Gordon come in? So where's he?
He's in the plane as well.
It's up to Sron Plocker.
If you want to sit over there, Gordon, is that it? In fact, David, if you go up there, that'd be better if Gordon sits here.
Okay. You don't really want to. She'll get nasty. She'll get nasty.
No
our meals took a long time.
Meeting. Ian, you weren't there, you need to speak that.
So I welcome, thank you all for coming. Gordon, thank you for coming such a distance for this meeting. Michaela and I went to a meeting in Glenbranta with Gordon Donaldson and Malcolm Weald of the National Forest Land Scheme. And we proposed a new way forward, which is this phased acquisition of the forest rather than it being bought in one chunk. The suggestion is that we acquire a smaller area and hope to get a 5-year window to be able to acquire the rest of the forest. And we're still waiting to hear feedback from head office, I believe. So can you bring us up to date with?
Yeah, I've had some conversations with people within the Forest Commission. Bob Frost. I haven't been able to speak to Malcolm again because he's on holiday
on leave, yeah.
this week, and I've put a proposal through to them based on the conversations that we had, and my understanding is that what I've put to them will be accepted, I believe, but basically Bob McIntosh, Director of Scotland, still has to make that approval, but my understanding would be that he'll draft a letter soon to respond to that effect.
So it's gotten onto his table.
It's got to his table, yes, and if you like, within the staff, not necessarily him himself, but the staff around him have given it a nodded approval. Let's say, so you could bring it along there up the burn,
and then across,
across.
Yeah, but then you're including a much larger area.
Absolutely.
We have to consider the raising of private finance in a very short period of time. So it has to be sensible.
What about the little bit that was added on later? Do you remember the little fine homes bit that's just down here somewhere?
Is that not still within option 4? I thought
it's still within option 4. What I'm it added on £10,000 to.
Quite right too. It's a valuable bit of ground.
0.76 of a hectare, 10 grand, eh?
Well, that's the price of land
But
nowadays.
basically, fine homes are not in the picture anymore.
No, I realise that.
And we won't be developing affordable housing in that sense as a community.
From the Forest Commission Scotland's point of view, what we can't do is knowingly pass on an asset to a community at less than its value. Yeah.
Okay, I recognise that the legislation is in place through the National Forest Land Scheme, but so far, well, at the moment, there is not a mechanism to deliver that.
No, I accept that.
So what I was suggesting by that was not that we're not grateful that the National Forest Land Scheme is in place. I was just suggesting that in terms of funding that National Forest Land Scheme, the government have not so far found a solution for that. And presumably you would be hopeful that they will do so in the near future so that the National Forest Land Scheme can be active again. Because otherwise it's...
But he's not an any for less guy.
Well,
no, but it's still...
Equally so, I take David's point in the sense that if we've got a policy document which we're being asked to follow, then from the point of view of entering into it and getting to an end point and nothing happening, then there is no point. But it would be wrong of me to say that I think it should either be that they have to fund it. What I would suggest to you is that the government of the day has to look at it and make their mind up about what they're going to do with it as a result of that. Because clearly one of the things you said there was keeps the pressure on the government, and I recognise that's one of the things that you're doing through this process because you've been unsuccessful to buy it through the scheme that is there. Therefore, either a solution is found or the scheme is changed, dropped. But I am in no position to say how that will be resolved. No. I am in no position to say how it should be resolved either.
No. Very political.
Thank you. Edit that in.
I think we can close the meeting. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. We got a letter from the Forest Commission yesterday, and it's basically confirmed everything we asked for. We had a meeting with them Monday 2 weeks ago, and this is the quickest response we've ever had from the Forestry Commission, and we've got this letter now saying yes, we can buy a smaller area of the forest, which we decided at the meeting last Thursday, and we have 5 years to find a way to acquire the rest of it. So the Forest Commission have confirmed everything we'd asked for, and it's looking very positive. It's great that they've given us that way forward, and as promptly. It means that we can now get the smaller area of the forest revalued, and then we've probably still got 6 months to try and raise that money for the forest. You can see the state of the forest up here. I think for this, that's probably the best way forward. Is he going to do that?
Oh, that's right, yeah, that's right, Karen did.
I think for this,
Oh, that's right, yeah, that's right, Karen did.
a lot of the land in Scotland has come into bigger and bigger blocks. So there's bigger and bigger areas of land held by less and less people. And the land in Scotland, I think it needs people to look after it. Now, with rhododendron and Japanese knotweed and Sitka spruce, like self-seeding all over the place, I think that the land needs people to look after it, and I think people need land. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship between land and people if people get access to that land. So this community can make better use of this forest than anybody else in Scotland because we're here. It's localisation. It's because we're here that we can make better use of this forest. We can provide fuel wood and building materials and land for people to live on and grow food. We can create all sorts of opportunities with this forest that the Forestry Commission never could because they're managing it from Aberfoyle or Perth or wherever. It's all far away. And I think it's the same for all land. The only people that will ever look after land properly are the people who live there, not someone far away who's an absentee sort of landowner. It's all been centralised so that these are just seen as assets in some global market. They can sell those trees to some faraway place and make some money out of it. But the real benefit in that forest is if it can support local communities. It's brilliant that we've found a way forward after 4 years of trying to find a way forward. We've finally found a way, and it's not ideal. It means we've got to raise a lot of money, from within the community and from other people who might support what we're trying to do. We've got a lot of money to raise between now and the end of the year, but at least it's a way forward, and we can do it.